I finally bought a house after 13 years of working nonstop. My family celebrated by claiming my house was technically theirs because they once paid for summer camp. At Thanksgiving, my chair was missing, but my mom toasted, "To the only one who made us proud," while pointing to my sister. I stood, said, "Thanks for saying it," and turned to leave. Dad said, "Wait, tell them." So I did, and left the verdict on the table. 13 years. That's how long it took me to afford 4 walls and a roof that I could finally call mine. Not a rental. Not a temporary solution. Mine. Every splinter in the hardwood floor, every paint stroke on the walls, I earned it. So when I held that small housewarming dinner, something simple, just takeout and a couple bottles of wine, I didn't expect a standing ovation. But I didn't expect what came next either. "Oh wow," my sister Amanda said as she flopped onto my new couch, legs tucked under her like she lived here already. "You know, technically this house wouldn't even exist without us." I blinked. "What?" She smirked, sipping from her wine. "Remember summer camp in '05? We paid for that. Gave you that drive, or whatever." My fork froze midair. "You mean the $300 week-long camp where I got poison ivy and learned how to make a birdhouse?" Dad laughed. Not the chuckle kind. The self-satisfied, dismissive kind. "It's called foundational investment, son. Everything builds on something." My mom nodded like he just quoted scripture. "I paid for it myself," I said. "With my paper route. You gave me $10. For snacks." Mom waved her hand. "Well, we've always supported you in spirit." That was the first taste. The first sour note in what I thought would be a celebration. But Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving was a whole opera. I walked in, dish in hand, green bean casserole, homemade, because I still had some decency left, only to find that my seat at the table, the one I sat in every single year, was missing. "Where's?" I started. "Oh, we had to rearrange a bit," Mom said, avoiding my eyes. Amanda was already in my chair, grinning like the cat who'd swallowed the family turkey. Her new boyfriend beside her. I ended up at the kids' table. Literally. Folding chair. Plastic plate. Next to my 12-year-old cousin who wiped his nose with his sleeve. Then came the toast. Mom clinked her glass, standing beside the gravy boat. "To family," she began. "And to the only one who truly made us proud, Amanda." Every head turned. I looked at her. I stood up slowly. "Thanks for saying it," I said, voice calm. Dead calm. "Really?" I turned to leave. My napkin still on the plate. My casserole untouched. "Wait," Dad said. His voice was tight. "Tell them." I paused, hand on the back of my chair. "You sure?" He nodded once. So I did. And I left the verdict on the table. You want to know what it took to buy that house? 13 years of missed birthdays, skipped vacations, and enough instant noodles to feed a small army. I worked every single day, sometimes pulling double shifts just to stay ahead of the bills. I'm a diesel mechanic. Grease under the nails, cracked hands, aching back by 4 p.m. every day. No trust fund. No family handouts. Just grit and a busted-up Ford, the first kept on life support until last year. Meanwhile, Amanda floated through life like a balloon with no string. She dropped out of college after 2 semesters, said it was too corporate. Tried selling handmade soaps for a bit. Then it was yoga certifications. Then a relationship blog that went nowhere. Every time she failed, guess who got the call? "Could you spot me rent this month, big bro?" Just until I get my feet under me. I spotted her rent. Spotted her car insurance. Spotted her emergency dental bill when she chipped a tooth eating popcorn at a movie theater. My parents, my dear, loving parents, never once asked if I could afford it. It was just expected. "You're doing so well," Mom would say with that syrupy tone, and Amanda's still finding herself. Funny how Amanda's always been finding herself, while I was expected to hold everyone else together. And it wasn't just her. My dad would call too. "Son, your mother and I are a bit strapped this month. Could you help with the mortgage?" "Just a little." "Didn't you just refinance?" I asked once. Well, Amanda needed to borrow some money, and things got tight. "She's your sister." I didn't say what I wanted to. I didn't say, "She's your daughter too." By year 11 of working nonstop, I had almost saved enough for a down payment. I was living in a crumbling one-bedroom with a radiator that howled like a banshee all winter. But I had a spreadsheet taped to my fridge with every cent accounted for. I even cut off streaming services and sold my guitar to get there faster. Then Amanda showed up at my door, sobbing. Her boyfriend had kicked her out. She was between phases, whatever that meant. "I just need a few months, please. I'll sleep on the couch. I'll help with groceries." I let her in. What else was I supposed to do? 4 months turned into 9. Groceries? Never touched them. Couch? Eventually claimed my bed. Utilities? Doubled. One day, I came home from work and found her using my laptop for an energy-healing Zoom session. She had moved my tax files to a flash drive and lost it. I lost it too. Told her she had 2 weeks to figure something out. She cried. Mom called. Don't be cruel, she scolded. She's your sister. No one asked if I was okay. No one noticed that I hadn't taken a day off in over a year. So when I finally got the keys to that house, my house, I didn't tell anyone. I packed up and moved out in one weekend while Amanda was on some retreat in the desert. It was the best 3 months of my life. Silence. Privacy. A place that didn't smell like incense or stress. Then Thanksgiving happened. After the toast, after the chair stunt, after the jab about summer camp, investments, I started to see what I hadn't wanted to admit for years. They didn't just take me for granted. They didn't even see me as part of the family, just the utility account that paid when things broke. The Monday after Thanksgiving, I got a call. Hey, Amanda chirped, as if nothing had happened. So I've been thinking, your house has that spare room, right? I stayed silent. She kept going. Because my lease is up, and honestly, paying rent just doesn't align with where I'm at spiritually right now. I feel like the universe is pushing me toward a reset. A reset? Yeah. I think living with you again could be healing for both of us. And you owe me a little anyway, remember? That summer camp gave you your first sense of independence. I stared at the phone. I'm sorry, I said finally. Who do you think you're talking to? She paused, caught off guard. My brother. No. You're talking to the man who paid for your rent 5 times, who bailed out your yoga business, who put his dreams on hold so you could play at finding yourself. And now you want what? A free room because Mercury is in retrograde. My mom said you'd understand. That stopped me cold. She knew you were going to call? Amanda laughed. Well, yeah, we talked about it. They think it's a great idea. They even said they'd help you with utilities if that's what you're worried about. My hands were shaking now. So you all decided what to do with my house. Without me. There was a pause. Don't be dramatic. Click. I hung up. An hour later, my mom called. You know, it's really selfish to hoard all that space. Family is about sharing. No, I said, voice flat. Family is about respect. And you haven't shown me any. She sighed like I was the one being unreasonable. After everything we did for you. You mean the camp? The $10 snack donation? Don't twist things. You twisted them first, I snapped. And you can all stay twisted. This house is mine. Legally. Emotionally. Completely. That's when she got nasty. You'll regret isolating yourself. No. I'll rest peacefully in a space that's finally mine. They showed up at my house 3 days later. No call. No warning. Just a knock, loud, fast, relentless. Like the cops. I opened the door to find Amanda, Mom, and Dad on my porch. Amanda had her arms crossed like a prosecutor. Mom looked exhausted but determined. Dad stood behind them with his jaw clenched and that classic look of disappointment he wore like a family heirloom. We need to talk, Amanda said, already stepping into the house without waiting. I didn't move. About what? I asked, voice cold. Mom pushed past me too. Enough of this. We're your family. Dad followed, mumbling something about stubbornness. They made themselves comfortable in my living room like it still belonged to them. Amanda spun around. You embarrassed us at Thanksgiving. By existing? I asked. By walking out like a child, she snapped. And then hanging up on me like I'm some scam caller. What's your problem? My problem, I said, stepping forward, is that you people don't understand boundaries. Or gratitude. Oh please, Amanda rolled her eyes. You're acting like some martyr because you finally bought a house after over a decade of playing mechanic. Mom gasped. Amanda. No, let her talk, I said, locking eyes with Amanda. Let's hear what she really thinks. She smirked. I think you've let a little drywall and a mortgage go to your head. You've got a decent job, a small house, and suddenly you're Elon Musk. I didn't blink. You know what the difference is between us? I worked. I sacrificed. You bounced between plans that never stuck. Amanda opened her mouth, but I cut her off. And now you want this, my house, my space, because you burned through every chance you were given. And you think it's owed to you. It is, she screamed, shocking even herself. We helped you. We gave you that first camp experience, that emotional support growing up. You wouldn't be who you are if it weren't for us. I laughed. A bitter, hollow sound. Emotional support? I asked. Like when you crashed my car and blamed me. When Mom guilt me into skipping my college internship to help Dad repaint the garage. Dad finally spoke. Don't twist the past. Oh, you mean the past where I worked 2 jobs at 19 while Amanda recalibrated her energy in Arizona on my dime? That past? You always throw money in our faces, Mom said tightly. Because you keep pretending it never happened. I yelled. You treat me like the helper, never the human. Amanda stood. We're not here to fight. We're here to find a solution. You're being selfish. That was it. I walked to my bedroom, opened my desk drawer, and pulled out a file. Brought it back and dropped it onto the coffee table with a hard thud. What's this? Dad asked, narrowing his eyes. Receipts, I said. Receipts for what? For every bill I've paid for this family since I was 23. Amanda's rent, your mortgage, that emergency plumbing repair that turned out to be a new hot tub. Amanda scoffed. You kept track. Oh, like you keep track of your so-called astrology clients? I said. Yeah, I kept track. Because I knew this day would come. I flipped through the folder. $8,000 for Amanda's credit cards. $1,400 for her car repairs. $7,500 for your property taxes, Mom. Want me to go on? Mom was trembling now. You're being cruel. No, I said calmly. I'm being clear. Amanda's face twisted. You're acting like you're some kind of saint. Saints sacrifice themselves. I've given enough, and I'm done. You'll regret this, she hissed. One day, you'll want family around, and we won't be there. I smiled. Promise. That was when Dad stood. You're going to cut us out? After everything? I'm not cutting you out, I said. I'm choosing myself. Dad's voice dropped, cold and sharp. You've changed. Yes, I said, standing tall. I finally learned how to say no. Amanda turned, furious. So that's it? You're just going to let us struggle while you sit here in your little house with your precious silence. Yup. You think that makes you strong? No, I said. It makes me free. They stood there for a moment. 3 people who'd always seen me as a utility bill with legs, realizing they had no leverage left. Then I walked to the front door. Held it open. Out. Mom opened her mouth again, but I shook my head. No more guilt. No more manipulation. You came here to shame me. Instead, you exposed yourselves. Amanda stormed out first. You'll come crawling back, she snapped. I'd rather live in silence than let you back in. Mom paused, looking genuinely heartbroken. This isn't you, sweetheart. It's always been me, I said. You only seemed happy when I didn't have strength to say no. Dad was last. He gave me a look like I'd just thrown away the entire family. I gave him one right back. Then I closed the door. And locked it. The silence after the storm was unreal. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel that buzzing anxiety under my skin. No checking my phone every 10 minutes for a guilt-laced message. No waiting for the next family emergency. Just silence. Peace. And the faint hum of my fridge. I walked through the house slowly, as if it were sacred ground. My home. Still intact. Still mine. Their words echoed in my head, sure, but they sounded distant now. Faded, like background static. You'll regret this. You've changed. You'll end up completely alone. Good. Better than dying in service to people who only showed up when they needed something. That night, I slept with both arms stretched wide across my bed for the first time in years. I didn't wake up in a panic. I didn't dread the next request or accusation. I just existed. And for once, that was enough. By the end of the week, I had blocked Amanda's number. I put my parents' contacts on silent. Not deleted, just muted. Like the background noise they had become. And let me tell you something wild. Life went on. I started fixing up the guest room, not for guests, but for tools, projects, things I actually cared about. I turned my little third bedroom into a reading den. Just a recliner, a lamp, and walls of used books I'd never had time to open while supporting everyone else. I got into cycling. Bought myself a decent second-hand road bike. Every Saturday, I'd ride out at sunrise, no destination. Just movement. Freedom. I'd pass parks, lakes, neighborhoods with loud dogs, and I'd smile the whole way. Like I'd been paroled from a sentence I didn't even realize I was serving. And my bank account? For the first time in years, it started growing instead of shrinking. Turns out when you're not subsidizing failed Etsy shops and psychic coaching programs, your money goes further. I finally scheduled that dental surgery I'd been putting off for 3 years. Paid cash. No stress. Then the call started. First Amanda's boyfriend. I didn't even know she was seeing someone new. Hey man, I don't want to be weird, but Amanda's going through a lot right now. Maybe if you could just talk to her. Click. Then Mom. Voicemails. Sweetheart, it's your mother. I just want to say, I miss you. Things got heated, but we're still your family. Then a text. Amanda's staying with us again. It's tight. Just thought you should know. I didn't respond. Not once. And that's when things got desperate. Dad showed up. I heard the knock on a Saturday morning while drinking coffee in my backyard, sunlight on my face, my dog snoring beside me. Yes, I got a dog. Rescue mutt named Grover. Best decision I ever made. I didn't answer the door right away. I let him knock. When I finally opened it, Dad stood there in his old leather jacket, eyes sunken, pride nowhere to be found. I just want to talk, he said. I crossed my arms. Talk like last time? Or are you going to tell me I owe Amanda child support for a summer camp again? He flinched. She's not doing well. She never was. You just refused to see it. He sighed, running a hand down his face. You've made your point. No, I said. I lived my point. For 13 years. I know we took you for granted. No, I snapped. You used me. Don't sugarcoat it. He looked away. I came to say you were right. About all of it. We treated you like a fallback plan. I'm not proud of it. I studied his face. This wasn't the smug man from Thanksgiving. This was someone who'd lost his grip on the narrative and didn't know how to spin it anymore. You didn't just treat me like a fallback, I said. You made me feel invisible. When I was useful, you clapped. When I said no, you shamed me. That's not family. That's exploitation. He nodded slowly. I just want you to know. I'm proud of you. Too late. He swallowed hard. Can I tell your mom you're okay? I'm great, I said. But don't expect to hear from me. I understand. I closed the door before he could say anything else. And this time, I didn't feel guilty. Later that week, I got an unexpected email. Subject, thank you. It was from Amanda's old best friend, Sarah. We hadn't spoken in years. Hey, you probably don't remember me, but I just wanted to say thank you. Amanda used to treat me like her unpaid therapist. She'd complain about how you owed her everything. She never saw how selfish she was. But I did. You standing up for yourself? That inspired me to cut ties too. And for the first time, I feel sane. Just wanted you to know someone saw it. I stared at the screen for a long time. Someone saw it. Someone finally saw it. I took a deep breath. Then I opened my fridge. There was a leftover slice of pie from Thanksgiving, untouched, still in its box. I sat down, took a bite, alone, and absolutely victorious. It's been 6 months. 6 months since I said no. 6 months since I stopped bleeding myself dry for people who never brought so much as a bandage. And you know what? No one died. Amanda didn't collapse from not having free rent. My parents didn't implode without their monthly support. The family tree didn't fall apart because one branch finally stopped bending. But I came back to life. There's something powerful, terrifyingly powerful, about realizing you don't owe anyone your peace. That love without respect is just a leash. That family without boundaries is just a cage with a polite sign on it. Every day now starts the same. Coffee, Grover by my side, and silence. Not the kind of silence that aches, but the kind that sings. A silence filled with my choices, my time, my furniture exactly where I want. I work less, earn more, because I'm no longer bailing out people who confuse love with entitlement. Sometimes I think back to that Thanksgiving moment. That chair, that toast, to the only one who made us proud, Mom said, while pointing at Amanda. But here's the truth they don't say out loud. The only one who should have been proud was me. I didn't just buy a house. I built a life, brick by brick, cut by calloused cut. While they were out chasing excuses, I was chasing stability. While they toasted golden children, I was holding up crumbling walls with bloody hands and no applause. And I'm done apologizing for surviving the fallout they caused. My therapist, yeah, I started therapy. Turns out healing isn't a solo sport. Once asked me what I thought love looked like. I told her, it looks like a locked door with me on the inside, and peace curled up next to my dog on the couch. She smiled. So did I? I haven't spoken to Amanda since that last voicemail she left. The one where she cried. Said she missed me. Said she didn't mean any of it. I didn't respond. Not because I hate her, but because I finally love myself enough not to answer. You see, the biggest lie families like mine tell is this. We did our best. No, they did what was convenient. I did my best. I gave and gave and gave until there was nothing left to scrape off the bone. And when I stopped bleeding, they called me cruel. So here's my answer now, written in stone. I'm not cruel. I am clean. And if that makes me the villain in their story, then so be it. Because in mine, I'm the one who escaped the fire. And I'm never going back.